You Can't Sit With Us episode. Shit, Ben, what episode is it? 6? 7? Something like that. Andrea, everybody, welcome.
Hi.
Woo!
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. We had Lewis. We now have Andrea.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have Andrea and Lewis next.
Yeah,
We'll
next
get
time.
some different answers. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you keeping? How's your week been? You seem busy.
What does that mean?
You and Lewis are always in your room working.
Yeah, we're always just making TikToks, making YouTube videos. I mean, it's not like 24/7. Obviously, we need to chill sometimes, but yeah, we're normally in there just working, making videos.
That's like probably the biggest thing that me and Jake see anyway, is that you guys are always working. And there's probably to be honest, some of my mates have said, like, what do they do? Do they just sit around and make a few TikToks? I don't think people really realize how much work it takes to make the content you guys make.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, first of all, coming up with ideas, we had such a hard time today. Like, we were like thinking of like, oh my God, like our creative juices sometimes are flowing like hardcore and it's like great and we're bouncing off each other. And then sometimes we're just stagnant. Like, I have no idea what to do. Like, I will not, like, you can't think of anything whatsoever. And so we actually had a moment like that today. But most of the time it's like we're either thinking of ideas or we're making the actual videos or we're editing or we're trying to get like 3 YouTube videos. Because actually for Christmas, we're going to be 10 days apart. And that's 10 days of content that we need to make ahead of time. So we're like stressing out a little bit because we only have like 15 more days to make those extra 10 days of content. So, yeah.
That's mad. And like, what's your, in terms of how do you get like ideas for TikToks? Do you go through TikTok? Do you just do lists? Like, where do you get inspiration from?
Okay, so it's a mixture of, sometimes in real life, we're really weird and goofy, as any couple I think is, I guess, when they're on their own. And so we'll like do something super weird or cute and we're like, okay, someone has to relate to this. So we'll like redo it because we were doing it and we're like, okay, that's funny. Let's redo that and like post it and see if anyone relates to it, you know? And so that's one way where we come up with ideas, which is usually the best way because that's like the most real, you know? And then other ways is just like trends, because couple trends are super huge on TikTok. And so there's like the typical just like, I don't even know, like doing something to see how your boyfriend reacts. And so we'll like find trends like that. And most of the time it's like we try to find it fast so that we can do it on the other before they see the video. So it's like actually genuine. And then sometimes when we both see it, we're like, fuck, like we have to just do the trend. You know what I mean? Like TikTok is a little bit different. I think Lewis told you in the podcast where it's like YouTube is 100% genuine, like never ever fake. But TikTok is like, we try to make it as genuine as possible, but we also include skits in it, you know? And like just redoing things that we did like just a second ago without the cameras, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And like you guys have popped off on TikTok so fast. Like it's literally only been 12 months or so.
Yeah, I think it's been 13 months now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And has your content changed a lot since the start? Or like, how did you start off making stuff? Did you do it individually or together or?
No, we always did it together. It started off with POVs. You know POVs?
I actually don't really understand what they are.
It's called point of view. It's like you basically act like the camera is a person or an object. Like you tell the person in the caption what they are. Like, you're the book watching me do this, or you're my cat, like laying on my bed watching me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'd like tell them what their role is and what our role is. And then you like act. It's so cringy. It is like so cringy, but it's so funny. And like you get to kind of have fun acting, but it's also really cringy. So you're like, oh my God, I hope no one that I know sees this. But that's what we started out with. And that's what like started going viral. And then we just changed it up and focused more on like who we were and our coupleness, you know?
Yeah. And when did you see one like pop off? Was it a slow grind and then one went viral, or was it consistent growth? Or
it's really random. Like there was one original one that was like our first like super viral one that I think like got 8 million when we were less than 100,000 followers. Yeah. And
oh my God, that is embarrassing.
And so that was like the first one, and that was a POV, like acting as if like the person, I think her name was Jenna. No. Oh my gosh, this one was different. This one was with music in the background, and Lewis was like flirting with the camera, but he was dating me, so he was like cheating on me, and like everyone was commenting like, oh my God, you're a terrible person. Like, why would you do that to her? And we're like, this is obviously like acting. Like we're literally in front of a camera. Like he's looking at the camera, not a real person. I don't know. It was really weird, but that was like our first viral one. And then from there were just random ones that would pop off, and eventually it just blew up. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, did you find you were able to sort of transfer those followers to YouTube and Instagram quite easily? Or because there's a lot of people who blow up on TikTok and they just live on TikTok. They don't have a following elsewhere. So
yeah, that was actually a huge problem for us in the beginning. Like, it wasn't transferring at all. Like, the numbers, it would be like 1 million and 10,000, and like 10,000 to 1 million is like such a big difference, you know? And then even as we grew, we started growing. Like, on our second million on TikTok, we had 30,000 on Instagram. So it was like, okay, at least this second million got us 20K instead of 10K, you know? Yeah. And so, but later we figured out kind of how to like grow it better and send people to Instagram more. But in the beginning, it was so difficult. Like, it was not easy at all. It's still kind of difficult. I mean, we have 5.8 million and 300 something thousand. So
on YouTube?
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
On YouTube, we also have 300 something thousand, 312,000 on YouTube.
That's crazy.
So it is really amazing. We're super grateful for it, but it is a very different number than 5.8 million, you know?
Facts. Yeah.
So,
and like, if you could pick one platform to post on for the rest of your life, where do you think you'd post? Because, you know, there's that debate where, oh, I could just post a TikTok and it could get 1 million views.
Yeah.
Whereas on YouTube, to get 15 or 20K is almost as, if not more, gratifying, because it just feels more, I don't know, like, that's who I feel anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, even if TikTok does well, YouTube feels more like they're your core supporters, I guess.
Yeah, it does feel like that, because it's like, if they're transferring over, that means they really want to follow you on all platforms. They like want to watch you everywhere. Whereas like, if they're on TikTok, like, obviously they're not that supportive of you if they're not transferring to Instagram. Like, they're not like the main supporters. Obviously they support you, but not like the hardcore fans and followers and supporters, right? And so it is more gratifying over there. I think, yeah, I would probably choose YouTube, because TikTok, we do have more followers, and it's like, that's what we actually make money off of right now. But YouTube is just more fun, more freedom. You can do more with it than just 15 to 60 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And like you were saying there, I guess about money, when did brands start reaching out to you guys on TikTok? Was it like 1 million? Was it 100K? And I guess you obviously have a lot of friends in the industry because you guys have networked a lot. You've been to America and stuff. Do you think it's just due to having a massive audience, or is it down to you guys like emailing companies or maybe being in a niche, or what's that whole brand thing been like, I guess?
Okay, so brands started we started working with a lot of artists first. And so like, they would DM us, and we worked on it ourselves, and we just kind of like figured out the prices. We didn't really know what we were worth, but we just kind of figured something out in the beginning. And after like 1 mil is when we started actually working with brands, like not just artists and songs, you know? And what was the other question about?
I don't really remember.
I know you asked like a few questions all mixed together. Yeah. I was like...
I think the other one was...
You're asking about other content creators.
Yeah, like your other friends and stuff. What has their experience with brands been, I guess?
I don't know. I haven't normally talked about brand deals with them. We normally talk about
a
other
bit of
stuff.
a touchy subject in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. You normally don't really talk about... I mean, sometimes you do. You talk about money, but like not always. Sometimes you're just like, let's get to know each other. You know, you don't really want to talk about that right away. But anyways, I think you were mentioning, how did we get to know them, or?
Yeah, I guess maybe to have
reaching out to brands as well.
Yeah, like, do you guys do a lot of outreach, or did you just build your following and they came to you?
They came to us. I don't think we've probably once or twice we've reached out to brands, but normally they just came to us. We were thinking about doing that in the beginning, but it's like we were so caught up in like focusing on making our content that eventually we were just like, okay, let's get a manager to handle that. Okay. And like, our managers actually, like, we'll tell them if we want to work with a brand, and they'll reach out to the brand. So yeah, I guess we do that through our managers. They do it for us. But yeah.
That's cool. And like, when it comes to brands, you said there about knowing your worth. Like, how does one sort of acquire that skill? Because there's probably a lot of people listening who are building up their following, and maybe people have reached out to them and they don't really know what to charge. Like, how did you guys learn that?
I mean, we are still learning that, because at this point our managers are the ones that know our worth and control it. But like, we've noticed, like, as we've grown, how the numbers have grown. So we're kind of like, okay, maybe for every 1 million we charge this much, whatever. But really, it's not about the following. It's about engagement. So if you have great engagement, like, that's what you counted on. Because I've seen people with only like 30K on Instagram who are charging like almost like half of what we're charging, when we have like 10 times more than them. You know what I mean? And that's like, whoa, how the hell are they doing that, you know? Yeah. And it's like, their engagement is super high, especially because the ones I'm talking about are business people, and those people like charge a lot more. People who talk about business type of content. Yeah. And so it really does depend on, first of all, the content, second of all, the engagement, and then lastly is the following. But yeah, it's really weird. I couldn't really tell you a definite number because it's just different for everyone.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like YouTube CPMs as well. The other way people say there's the finance channels, they make a lot.
They make a lot, yeah.
There's some people who always get demonetized. Like David Dobrik has openly said that he always gets demonetized. It's sort of just different for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, it's so difficult to figure it out. Like I still don't know, so I couldn't tell you. I'd feel like I was like lying to you. Like I don't really know, you know?
And I guess just to go back, like when did you even start on social media?
We started on social media when we started our YouTube channel. So that was in May. So that was May, not this year, last year, May 2019.
You started making content last year for the first time ever.
Yeah, we were posting once a week. Like as soon as we started on May 6th, we didn't stop posting once every single week, not missing a week, until we got a TikTok in November. And that's when things blew up. And that's when we were like, okay, never mind. Let's start posting twice a week, 3 times a week, you know? Because like it was actually doing something. Whereas before it was like we were stuck at like 20, 40 followers for so long, or subscribers for so long. But we just kept on going. We were like, this is what we're doing, you know?
We didn't quick though.
We didn't have a plan B.
Come up. And like when you were growing up, did you ever think like that you would do entertainment, or were you interested in photography growing up, or what was it like growing up being Andrea? And where did you go?
I grew up my first 7 years in Puerto Rico, and then I moved to Florida until I was 14, and then I moved to Oregon to a boarding school until I was 18, and then I'm here in Ireland. And so I've always had a lot of different jobs that I wanted to do my entire life, like architecture. I was going to say architecture. There you go. Interior designer. Oh my God, I don't even know. I had so many different things that I don't even remember at this point. But when I was 16, I did a filmmaking workshop with an alumni from my school who was a travel filmmaker. And after doing that, I was like, am I allowed to cuss in this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. I was like, fuck it, this is it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, it's literally like pure like childlike adventure. You know what I mean? And you get to just like make a job out of it and make things look beautiful with like music, and like I fell in love with it. And so my actual like what I wanted to do after I left high school was become a travel filmmaker. Nice. And so it was going to be like independent, like on YouTube. And I kind of went a similar route. I'm on YouTube, just like a couple channel now instead of a travel channel. But we travel a lot too. So it's kind of like I'm still fulfilling my traveling dreams, you know? And
you and Lewis, like, do you guys have similar aspirations when it comes to traveling? Because you seem to, like, when you're able to just travel as much as possible. Yeah.
So I had dreams of traveling. He had actually traveled. Like before we started dating, he had already been to like Morocco and China and like, I don't even know. He'd been to like all these crazy places, and he already knew Japanese and Chinese and French, and he knew so many languages. And I'm like, what the hell? But it was perfect because we both love traveling so much. And anytime, like people ask us like, how do you have enough money to travel? Because like obviously now we've grown a lot, so we have more money than we used to. But even when we were broke like teenagers, we were traveling. And people are like, how do you do that? Like, you must be rich. Like, no, we were broke as hell, but like it was our dream. It's what we wanted to do. So we just made it happen with as little money as we had. Wow. We were just like traveling all over. I've been to the Middle East. It's so cool. I went like earlier this year. It was super cool.
What's some of the like craziest places you've been, or places that have had like a big impression on you?
Jerusalem, I think.
Whoa,
because
that's crazy.
Yeah, Jerusalem was just so beautiful, and it was like, it felt like I was in a different planet. I've never been anywhere like that, and it was just like so different, and the culture so like, I don't know, it was so different. I loved it. And so I think that's my main place where it was like cultural, like, whoa, it was shocking. It was like, what? This exists.
Yeah. Like, do you go back to like Puerto Rico or Florida every year?
Yes. I went this whole summer. I was in Puerto Rico this entire summer, and it is the most amazing place. Like, I know people say that about where they're from, and it's like, I didn't really, like, I grew up there till I was 7, but realistically, I don't remember the first like 5 years of my life. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was so young. But like going back there, I've traveled to like so many places now, and that is like my absolute favorite, just because, I don't know, maybe it's because I know the locals, so I know like how to get to like the cool places, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like we always go to like these waterfalls, and that's where I feel like the real sense of adventure. Like I go there and like I literally jumped off a 100-foot cliff, like casually. Like it was just, oh my God. I was literally up there for like 20 minutes, like shitting myself. And finally I was like, fuck it. And like Lewis jumped first and I was like, okay, he did it. I can't not do it. Like I can't not do it. Like if he did it, he can't one up me. Like I'm not someone that lets myself lose, you know? And so I literally did it and I thought I was going to like lose my life. I lived, but it was insane. So anyways, I love Puerto Rico. It's just like adventure. It's the love of my life.
What's it like living in Ireland versus living there? Like, do you like here? Would you prefer to live there or?
Okay, so Puerto Rico is only somewhere I've been like my first 7 years was I don't really remember that much to be honest, and then only in the summer. So it's more like a vacation spot. I don't think I'd want to live there just because if you have too much of a good thing, like you might get bored of it. Like I don't want to ever get bored of Puerto Rico, you know? But with Ireland, it's like such a mixed emotion because in the spring, I love Ireland. I'm a very weather person. Like my mood changes with the weather. And in the spring, I was here this spring and it was so gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. I didn't want to leave. But it's coming into like winter right now. Like it's getting cold. And I was here last January and February and I literally like was miserable. Oh no. So miserable. So like half of the year, I hate Ireland. I'm sorry. But half of the year, I absolutely love Ireland. I think it's one of the most beautiful places ever. So I wouldn't want to live here half of the year. But the other half I would.
Like a lot of Irish people don't really like winter either because there's a thing called SADS, which is like seasonal affective disorder, which is to do with basically not being enough sun and people not getting vitamin D. And it is sort of said around Ireland that people do just get sad at wintertime because, as you know now, like the sun goes down at 4 p.m. It always seems like it's dark. So you're probably not wrong with that. But that's because a lot of Irish people love to go away in like January to go skiing or to go to like a warm country. So I think it's sort of a cool way to think because imagine like you had 2 summers, like you had a summer here, then you go to Southern Hemisphere or America. It's always warm.
I think it's called being a snowbird. I think that's what the word for it is. People who constantly like move away from where it's wintry. So I think that's what I want to be. That's what I aspire to be with my life. I actually want to get to a point where I never experience winter ever again. Like that's my goal. I just hate winter so much. It actually makes me so sad. I don't know. Someday I'll make that happen. But right now I'm experiencing it and it sucks. Anyways. Oh my God. But I like snowboarding. So actually I don't know how I'm going to do that. Anyways.
Could you have like an indoor ski slope? Yeah. Maybe you could organize that. Yeah.
I'll do something like that. Thanks.
There you go. I'm just full of the great ideas, Ben. When did you and Lewis meet?
We met in 2014 when I was 14 years old.
Cool. And was he on holidays? Was it random? Was like how?
Yeah, so he was 16. He was on holidays in Florida and somehow we ended up in the same hotel. I was like on a staycation and he was vacationing there and I just saw him and I was like, who is he? And one of my friends just like forced me to like walk up to him even though I didn't want to. And we met and we started talking and we kind of had a thing, sort of dated, but like weren't official. And then we just stayed friends like on Instagram over the years. And then we just met up again and it happened and we're in a relationship now.
Wow. And when did it become sort of official?
So in 2018, like the beginning / middle of 2018, end of April anyway, we started talking on Instagram and we started like FaceTiming every single day for like 6 hours nonstop. Whoa. And we were just like best friends. Like we were just like talking constantly. And actually the first day that we started talking, rewind, the first day that we started talking, we were like, okay, you need to come to Florida to visit me for like a month. And then after, he was like, oh my God, after you need to come to Europe and like we'll do a whole trip around Europe for like 2 weeks. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And so we started talking every day and like planning it and we bought the tickets. And he ended up coming to Florida in July and we were there for a month. And then I went over to Europe and that's like when everything was like fully official.
Okay, right.
And yeah.
That's crazy.
Been great ever since.
It feels like both of you are quite, impulsive is the wrong word, but you just sort of see something.
Spontaneous?
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. And you just sort of go for it. Like,
yeah. We're definitely very much like that. Like if we want something, we just like, we're going to get it. We're just like, go for it, you know?
Yeah. Savage.
So it was cool. It was like the way everything started was just super intensely. And we just like started traveling right away in our relationship. And it was just literally a dream come true. So.
And was like making content a joint effort or did it start with one of you guys saying, oh, I think I want to make a YouTube channel? Or was it like both of you guys? I actually
don't even remember
at this point
how we started the couple channel. Like I just know Lewis had been making some YouTube videos before doing story times. And then I obviously wanted to do the travel filmmaking. So I was like, I started my YouTube channel and I posted like 1 or 2 videos on it, but I wanted to like really get into it. I don't even know how it happened. We just started it. And then as soon as we moved in together in May, which was only like 9 or 10 months into our relationship, we moved in together. And we just started shooting out videos every single week since like the day we moved in together. Like 2 days later, we posted the first YouTube video. And a week later, we posted the next one, etc.
And do you think, like, how important is consistency, do you think, for success in social media? Because you were saying there, you guys were posting every single week, didn't miss a week for like ages. How much of your success do you think is down to like quality and quantity, do you think? That's always a debate people have.
So Lewis and I think in the beginning, especially when you're growing, quantity is more important. Like obviously you don't want to put out shit videos, but like focus a little bit more on the quantity because you just want to shoot out as much as you can. Obviously later on you need to start focusing on quantity, on quality, which is what Lewis and I are actually like focusing on transitioning right now. We're in a transition period right now where quality worked for a really long time, but now it's like, okay, we need to start switching over to actually, I think I said quality. Quantity worked for a really long time.
I was confused there.
Yeah, sorry. There's such similar words. Anyway, quantity worked for a really long time. So now we're like switching over to focusing more on quality because that's just more important to keep people there on the long run. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, you want to grow as fast as possible, but then once you have the eyes on you, then you want to make them stay. So then later you work on the quality. That's what I think anyway.
God, my brain just went there for a second, Ben, and I just completely forgot all the questions in my head. In terms of, like, have you learned any, like, tips or sort of, I guess you want to say social media secrets that you've learned along the way that you didn't know when you started in terms of growing a following and stuff?
Oh my gosh.
That's way too generic, potentially.
I mean, I could give, like, random tips. Do you want me to tell you... Like in the workshop that we did, remember I told you guys how to transfer people to Instagram?
That was cool.
Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah. So a trick that we learned when like we were talking with our managers and we were like, okay, we really need help transferring people to Instagram. And they told us a trick that other influencers that are under them do. And so basically what we do is we do a YouTube or a TikTok, right? Because that's where our biggest platform is. And it's in the end, like we don't show something, right? And we say, go over to Instagram to find out. And they're like, oh my God, like the cliffhanger, that's the word? The cliffhanger. They're like, I need to know. And you set the Instagram to private, so they need to follow it to see it. And then, I don't know, that's how we've grown the most, like doing that. And we've done really funny things like surprising my boyfriend in a trashy outfit, like quote unquote. And so people are like, oh my God. And we send them over to Instagram to see the trashy outfit, but it turns out to be literally me in like a trash bag. So like, and they're just like, they laugh about it. But normally most people, like you'd think maybe they would leave because like, oh, they were kind of forced to follow or whatever, like quote unquote. And they would be like gone after they see that. But normally they actually end up staying. Like most of them stay because they realize, oh, they have cool content over here too. I mean, I know.
I try.
I try. But yeah, it works pretty well. That's like our main strategy to moving people over, which we actually need to do one soon because we haven't done one in a while. And we always made sure to do one at least like once a week to make sure we were always growing there. And we haven't done one in a while and we haven't grown as much on Instagram in a while. So it really is like hand in hand. It works together.
Do you think you constantly need to be, because I would have thought if you grew a big enough Instagram following at that, like you get to a point of growth or like high enough amount of followers where they sort of grow anyway.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Does it just, because I know with TikTok, it does just, unless you're doing viral stuff, it just plateau. Is it the same with Instagram or? So
TikTok is the only platform that has ever helped us, to be honest. Like YouTube has not pushed our videos. Like we've never had like a video that YouTube pushes and makes it viral. It's always just from promoting it on TikTok, it does well or whatever. Wow. But YouTube has never made our videos viral. Instagram has never like pushed our picture or anything to other audiences. It literally only goes to our followers. And so that's the thing that we love about TikTok because it's like it gets on the For You page and new eyes get to see our content. Whereas like that doesn't happen on Instagram or YouTube very much. And so it's like those kind of feel like they're a bit stressful, to be honest. Like those two platforms are stressful because if we didn't have TikTok, those would be so difficult to move like in following. They're just like, it's like the platform, the algorithm just isn't as generous as TikTok. The algorithm on TikTok is so generous. It's less generous now, I feel though. Like it used to be super, super generous. And then like as the time has gone, it's like not as like pushy towards a For You page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like as it's changed ownerships in the US or whatever, the algorithm has changed a lot. So, but I still love TikTok. The algorithm there is like bomb.
I feel like the content on TikTok has changed as you've been on it, even say from last year. Like, are trends as relevant now on TikTok as they were even a year ago?
Oh my God. I couldn't tell you because everyone's For You page is different. So it's like I've literally been scrolling on Lewis's and I's For You page, and then I'll go on like Shauna's phone and see her For You page. And I'm like, I've never seen anyone make content like that. Like I've never seen those type of TikToks ever before. And then I hear people talking about their TikToks, and it's like they only see fashion stuff or they only see this. And I'm like, what? Like I don't see that at all. So it's like I actually couldn't tell you because everyone's For You page is so different. Like some people only see dances. My sister's For You page is filled with dances. That's it. You know, I don't see any dances on my For You page.
Whoa.
So,
Do you know the way on your For You page you can go not interested and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like you can really curate it. Have you guys done that, or
I had
would you just
actually
have
never
couples
used
content on it? I don't know.
I have never used the not interested button ever. I only really found out that people used it like here in the house. I noticed people using it. I was like, what? Like I just swipe past the video if I don't like it. I didn't really think about that. But I obviously like stuff or like comment here and there. So I guess the For You page has curated itself to us. And since we make couple content a lot and that's what we add to our favorites to like be like, oh, we need to make a cool video like that. That's what gets fed on us on our For You page. So it is a lot of couple content on our For You page. That's like what we see like all the time. But I bet like maybe your For You page doesn't have a lot of couple content.
I don't even go on TikTok anymore.
You know?
Yeah. Mine had a bunch of like schoolboys just like doing dances or
Really?
trying to do funny memes and stuff.
But you didn't use it a lot, did you?
No. So I got fed like a lot of generic stuff, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been more curated if I spent more time with it. Like,
It's so funny. I know my For You page so well that sometimes I'll be on my phone and I'm like, what is this? Like I'm seeing such random shit and I go to check on what account I'm on and I'm on the Go House account or something. And I'm like, oh, that's why. Like I literally know. I'm like, this is not content for me. Like this is so weird. And it's happened plenty of times. So it's like I know myself so well that I'm like, that is not my For You page. Like that was weird.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a fucking question there and I forgot about it. TikTok posting content. Do you ever hit? Actually, no. I wanted to know, like, what does a day in the life of Andrea and Lewis look like?
Oh my gosh.
I know it's hard to stereotoday a day, but
yeah, like
maybe picture your ideal day, and we could work back from
my
that.
ideal day. Okay, my ideal day is sometimes very different from like today. Today was not a good day for us. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a bad day. It was just a very slow day. It was like a dark, cloudy day for us. Like we were just like slow and like not coming up with ideas as fast. But like our ideal day, which is what we strive for every day, is like, let's say waking up. We were waking up at 10, but now we've been like, okay, no, we need to stop doing that. So like 2 weeks ago, we were like, okay, let's start waking up at 8 again, like we did in the beginning. And then we go work out. Then we do the morning meeting. We eat breakfast. Now the morning meeting's early, so we go to the morning meeting, then work out, then eat breakfast. Then eat breakfast, then work out. Anyways, after doing like the whole morning stuff and then getting ready for the day, taking a shower, all that, we write our battle plan for the day. And so...
It's a cool phrase, in the battle plan.
Have you never used that?
No, you're going to kill the day. I love that.
Yeah, we call it battle plan, but it's just like the daily plan. So we like start making a list of all the things that need to get done today. And so first we make that list, then we put it into like a schedule and like figure out when are we going to do what. And like normally we start with filming the TikToks. Like all the filming we normally do earlier in the day. And then the rest of the day we'll do extra stuff like posting on Instagram, going live, different things like that, like editing, more like easier stuff than the filming stuff in the morning. And
is filming like the hardest part of it, do you think? Because I'm sure, say, the editing is what, particularly with your YouTube videos, that's probably hard as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis takes full control of that now. We used to like do it back and forth, but I was like, I kind of just got so tired of it. I was like, you know what, you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do other stuff. So now we have like actual posts. So we like wrote down, I think it was like a few weeks ago, we wrote down our posts and like, I'm in charge of like, I'm the finance manager and I'm in charge of this stuff, but he's in charge of the editing. So it's like, I'll do my part, you know what I mean? It's not like he just does everything because like I have other posts to do. But I don't know what would be harder. I think like starting a video is like difficult because you're kind of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go do it. You know, you kind of have to like force yourself to do it. And once you're doing it, you're having a lot of fun. But it's like sometimes it's like the effort. It's like, but then you do it, and that's like the best part. Like making the video itself is honestly like the best and simplest part, you know. I think editing is probably the worst. Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
That's why I gave it up. I was like, Lewis, you do it. I'm done.
I know. Yeah. I think it's a bit of a. I wonder if Lewis likes it now, though. It can be a bit of a. You don't like it initially, but then if you can learn to do it a bit, you can really like it. But then the other side is, as you said, if you don't like it, I think people hate it.
Yeah. It's so funny because I used to love it. That used to be my favorite part of filmmaking. Like the editing part. But I also did very different type of like films. I did travel films. And so it was like setting it to music. And that was just more fun and more like, I don't know, music-y, artsy, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube editing is different, and I just didn't have a lot of fun with it. So I was like, Lewis, you take it. You're funny. Like, you do it yourself, you know?
Yeah, YouTube can be weirdly robotic in a way. It's sort of like people talk, get rid of the dead space.
Yeah.
Punch in. What else would you do? Add memes.
It's
sort of just like put in my Instagram handle. It's sort of just like... Where, like, in a way, you'd almost say, well, where's the creativity? Because it almost, it just fits into that YouTube-y type way of editing.
No, but it can be really creative. Like, if you have a good editor, like our last video, they edited it so well. I don't even know. It was like a mixture of Mark and Lewis, and they were both editing and edits. And like, they just made it really funny. Like, because editing can really make or break something. So I do think there is a lot of creativity to it.
Definitely.
I'm just like lazy.
You're definitely right. It really, because like I even know myself, I'm more of a boring character on camera, but like really good editing can turn, like, thanks to Ben and myself, it can actually make it so much better. You can even take, if you were awkward on camera, and turn it into something funny. Like Emma Chamberlain's really good at that.
Yeah, definitely. It's like editing. I think it's kind of like the most important, and I just got so lazy and I was like, Lewis, you take it. I used to make like such funny edits, and I just like, I don't know, I got lazy. I need to like someday get on my grind, someday, far in the future.
Who are some YouTubers that you like, or would you watch YouTube now that you make so much content?
David Dobrik, obviously, but he hasn't made a YouTube video in so long.
Oh, Dave, come back, please.
I know, it's so depressing. It's actually upsetting. Stop, I'm gonna cry. I'm actually
gonna I'm sorry.
I'm actually gonna get emotional. Stop. No, but David Dobrik. Stop. I'm just thinking about when he. Okay, no, we're okay. David Dobrik just called me. It's fine. It's fine. No, but I actually have something in my eye. Hold on. Anyways, favorite YouTubers. So I love David Dobrik, of course. He's my number one. But I also watch, Olivia Neal?
Yes.
I love her personality. Like, she can make the most boring.
Was her get ready with me.
Yeah. I think it's just get ready with me. I don't think you would say groom.
Jake always says that.
Really? Yeah, but like her personality is so amazing. Like, it's just so funny. I just like love like sitting down like while I'm doing my makeup, like hanging out with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to really like Emma Chamberlain, but like, I don't know, Olivia Neal became like the new Emma Chamberlain. I'm sorry. I love Emma Chamberlain too. But I also like watching just like James Charles. I don't know. I watch a lot of different people. I don't even know. I'd watch like...
It's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah.
Like, even me, I'm like, oh, who do I even watch? Like, I watched a bit of Casey Neistat, watched a bit of Gary Vee.
Casey Neistat. Oh, yes. When he started his vlogs again, like a month or two ago, I was literally watching them every single day. I don't think I've caught up with them ever since the last video that he made that was about like the presidency. I think he's made more videos since then, but I just like haven't seen them because I've been like...
I don't think he's posted anymore.
Has he not?
Yeah,
so
maybe one. Like it's...
Maybe that's why I haven't gotten the notification.
It's weird. He went on a bit of a stint, and actually, here's a question for you. Would you ever, if you had let's say you had a full-time like Ben, and you had a full-time editor, would you ever consider going daily, or would you say, no, I think 3 a week is enough for our audience, even as like an experiment?
I would do it as an experiment, yes.
Like
Lewis
maybe
has
Vlogmas or something, or...
Yeah, I've thought about Vlogmas, actually.
Yeah.
We're not going to be together this Christmas, so that doesn't really make sense. But, we'll be together till 18th. Anyways. I've thought about it, and Lewis has really wanted us to. But I just, like... I feel like it's a lot of work and not enough... What's the word? Like, you won't get enough out of it from putting in that much work. And even our managers have, like, told us, like, to not do it. Like, they're like, honestly, 2 to 5 YouTube videos is enough. Like, any more than that, you're breaking your back for no reason.
Yeah, fair.
And so I'm like, maybe 5 is like the most I'd do if I were actually to keep it consistent and not just Vlogmas. But I don't know. I'm happy with 3. Maybe I'll pump it up to 4, possibly.
I think your guys' videos though are sort of... Would they be suited? They would be suited to daily vlogging if it was just pure Andrea and Lewis's life. But your videos are sort of more than that. They're sort of challenges, or they're trends, or they're sort of...
We've tried to do vlogs. We're just so bad at them. Oh my God. But like, we want people... When you were talking to Lewis in his podcast, I watched like some of it. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm listening. You were talking about how, like, I think Jake said, we don't really show every aspect. Like, we show like the tip of the iceberg of who we are. And we don't show everything. And like, we want to do that so bad. We want to show who we really are. And like, it's not that we don't, but we don't show like the depths of us. You know what I mean? Like, there's more to us, obviously. And like, we want to, we just don't know how, you know?
It's so hard to figure out, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I always have that conversation with Jake where we do vlogs now. And I guess I even look back at them and go, oh, like, that's definitely part of me. Like,
yeah.
It's not really not me. But as you said there, it's just trying to figure out, how do I get other parts of myself out? Because sometimes he'll be filming and there'll be a bit in the vlog and I'll go, oh, I really don't want to show that part of myself.
Yeah.
It's like, I just think it's boring, or I just don't want to show it, or I think that everybody's trying to figure that out, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, how do I get them to know me like my friends know me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I want them to. And I feel like sometimes I'm like almost there, but it's like not quite. Like, they don't really, really fully know me. And I want them to. I just don't know how.
Do you think they're separate personalities, like your on-camera persona, and then I wouldn't even say persona, your on-camera Andrea and your real-life Andrea? Like, how different are they, do you think?
They're not that different, to be honest. I'm just like, when I'm at my happiest, that's when I'm filming. And so that is like, it is really me. And that's who I really am. Like, me happy is who I really am. Me sad is like me sad, but that's not who I really am. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, me as a person, sadness is like a side effect. Happy me is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like it is really who I am. And I'm like funny and I make jokes and I'm just like whatever. But they also don't get to see like maybe the more serious side of me, which is also who I am. You know what I mean? Like, maybe talking about something more serious.
Yeah, like business or all that other stuff. Yeah.
And so they don't get to see that. They don't get to see, maybe I'm not just funny. You know, like my videos, I'd normally show my funny side, you know? But what about like the kind friend side? You know what I mean? Like, they don't really get to see that. Or like the special things like I do for Lewis as a surprise. Like, normally we don't film that because it's like we want that to just be within ourselves. But then at the same time, it's like they should kind of get to see that, to see like that we do sweet things for each other off camera, you know? But then if we put a camera up, then it's on camera, and then it just, I don't know. It's really hard to like separate our lives and then at the same time join them together, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever get a moment where sometimes I'm feeling something and then I tell like Ben to film, and then as soon as the camera comes on, I don't feel it anymore?
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I just feel, I don't like... Maybe this was a moment I was supposed to have off camera. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. Oh my God. For our 1 year anniversary, I made Lewis this video, and we ended up posting it like a month after, but it was like this video that was really just for him. It was never supposed to be posted. And I was like so happy to give it to him. And he wanted to obviously film his reaction during that moment. So he like put his camera there while he was watching it. But I felt like it took away from it. Like, I felt like part of him was trying to react for the camera instead of like really reacting to this video that I made for him. You know what I mean? It's the only time that's ever happened. But like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of takes away a little bit, and it's just sad. Like, cause you want to capture that moment, but you also don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
And like, I always think about that. Like, whenever like Lewis like proposes to me, you know, I don't want cameras like in my face. Cause I feel like I'm going to be like reacting for what I think people are going to be seeing. So I'm going to be like, you know, I'm trying to look good. Like, I just want to experience that moment with him. Yeah. I've like told him so many times, I'm like, you better hide those cameras really fucking well. I can't even know they're there, you know?
They're in like the bushes really far away, really long lines. Yeah.
That's what it has to be, because if not, I'm going to feel slightly like the moment's just ruined. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that it's ruined. It's just like, if you really want it to be so real, the cameras like can't be on. I don't know. Eventually I'll learn how to be like 100% real instead of like 75. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I think it's hard to. I think there's always going to be a degree of, you know, playing up to the camera. And I think I found anyway, because as you mentioned earlier, that editing is so important.
Yeah.
Sometimes if the actual moment doesn't come across well on camera, you can, you know yourself, you can go on the computer and like add music and add effects.
Yeah.
And like elicit the emotion that you want the viewer to feel.
That's
but
true.
You know in the moments that it's like, oh fuck, I actually really didn't feel this way.
Yeah.
It's like a weird skill set. But even at the weekend, I was with a couple of my friends and I was just really happy. There was like no phones, no cameras, just sort of could experience life properly, I guess.
Yeah. Like Lewis and I think he also told you this, but like we barely ever like we're so bad on stories, because whenever we're having genuine moments with people laughing, like having a good time, we don't whip out our phone to take a video and show people we're having a good time. Like we just enjoy it, you know? And so it's like, I know people, like our supporters, want to see that part of our life, but it's so difficult to show them because we really just want to live in it, since the rest of our life is filmed, you know, it's on camera. Those moments, we want to keep it just memories, like raw. I don't know, you know?
But I'd say anyway, you know, like particularly with stories as well, you guys are like happy-go-lucky anyway. You could probably just, a bit like when I look at David's stories, I don't know the guy at all, but I think he's having a good time most of the time, and then he just takes out his phone a couple moments of the day, gets a laugh, puts it up, and then goes back to real life.
I need to learn how to do that. That's like, I need to learn, because I have like my strong opinions of like, I want to just live in the moment, but I have to realize I'm a creator, I'm an influencer, you know? They want to see that. I had to provide for my supporters, or else like, why would they want to stay there if they're not getting to know you really, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, I need to kind of find a balance where it's like, I will just like for a few seconds whip out my camera. I'm gonna learn one day, because I love David Dobrik's story. Like they're just so real and so funny, and you're just like experience like a little snippet of their friendship. That's really nice.
Yeah. Did you see what did he do at Natalie's birthday? He bought part of a football team for her. Did you see that?
No way. I did not see that.
Yeah,
was that on his story?
Yeah, no, it was on Natalie's feed. He basically like blindfolded her, brought her to a football stadium, and she's just on the pitch, and she looks up and it says Natalie is now owner of, and then a certain football team.
No.
Crazy, bro. I don't even know the full details. Yeah, crazy. You can look that up after this.
Oh my God, I will. What the hell? I did not know that.
He's like the king.
I need to get up to date.
He's the king of surprises.
I know.
He's made me cry before with some of the things.
Oh, me too. Literally, I've cried in so many of his videos.
I'm an emotionless lad. Like.
Well, I have like emotions, so.
Oh my God, people have emotions?
So I guess it's not that surprising that I cried, but like you cried? No, but yeah, I love his fucking videos.
He's so good. Like, do you think he'll come back?
He has to. He fucking has to. He doesn't have a choice.
He's the king.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. Realistically.
Yeah, I'd love to see him vlogging again. They were just so, I don't know. I think he was one of the first people to like pick really short videos and make them really super impactful. When people were caught up with the whole 10 minutes ad revenue and all that stuff, he was just focused on real short, impactful.
Yeah.
And like you'd always want to click on the next one. And
the 4 minutes and 20 seconds feels like a lifetime. It doesn't feel like that short. It actually feels like I watched like 40 minutes of footage, because it's like, I don't know, you go through so many emotions and like feelings. Ugh, stop. I'm going to fangirl. I need to stop.
So I guess like moving forward into the future, where do you and Lewis have, you know, set goals or plans you want, or where do you see stuff moving forward into 2021, and then just your broader goals?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're definitely going to be half and half, like in Ireland and the US, but it's probably going to be like 3/4 and 1/4 between Ireland and the US, like mostly being in the US, just because especially LA, like that's where it's at, like that's where everyone is, that's where the action is. Like if you, like we already experienced a little taste of it only being there like 10 days, like that's where you're gonna make it. Like I don't know, that's how we feel anyways, and we just really want to be there. It was so much fun when we were there, and so that's like our first goal of 2021. Moving forward, Jesus, we have so many different goals in life, like things we want to achieve and like create, like fashion brand, like businesses moving forward. I don't know. There's just so many things. It's like a lot of different goals. We also want to get like our dream cars. We have like 5 dream cars at this point. Oh so we're like, okay, we need to take our steps to like get those things and like just live life like the dream we've always had, you know?
And do you feel you're always going to be creating in some way, shape or form? Or do you think where you're at now with your like millions of followers basically between TikTok and all your platforms, is this just a stepping stone for you to move into other areas? Or do you see yourself as, I don't know, becoming like the David Dobrik equivalent couple, you know, the biggest in the world? Or where do you see that going?
I feel like a lot of people normally are like, yeah, obviously I have different dreams after this. Like this is not the only thing I'm going to do. And it's definitely not the only thing we're going to do. We want to have a lot of different businesses in different areas. We want, like Lewis wants to create his own animes. So he wants to have like a production studio for anime. And like we want to do different things in different areas, but I don't think we'll ever stop YouTube or like creating like TikTok, because people are like, oh, like this is just like a one-time thing. Like people will be over it. But like no, you just have to become Ace Family. You know what I mean? Like you just have to, from a couple channel, eventually we'll move as a relationship and we're like going to get married and then we're going to have kids and we'll be a family channel. And then from there, like you just keep on growing and creating. Like there's no reason to stop. You know, that's what the internet is there. Like anyone can do it. Like my dad, he's like 50, 51. I don't know. I'm sorry. You're like 50, 51? I don't know. I'm sorry. It's 50 or 51. Anyways. And he wants to start a YouTube now. And I'm like, go for it. Like, you can fucking do it, you know?
Yeah.
Age doesn't really matter. So I think we don't really have a plan B, but we have like plan A1, A2, A3. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of other things we want to do alongside this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Andrea, thank you very much.
Thanks.
You can sit with us.
You can't sit with us.